because Real Estate Radio Network is actually nationwide group of real estate and financial professionals across the nation helping us build the real estate market one market at a time.
Yeah, and
it's working.
I think there's probably about 70 shows at the air at any given time. And if you think about how much work goes into broadcasting 70 radio shows a week, it's a tremendous job that they do.
That's right. And we'd love you to join us on our holiday special. So join us in the vault. That's right. We can let you enter the vault by going to donandgino.com. Click on the Listen and Chat Live button, and voila, here we are. We're waving to you. We got 3 cameras on. Thanks to AP Productions. Mr. Furman Escovedo is in the house taking care of.
Try it again.
No. These are we're not in down south. So it's okay the way I said it.
All right.
Furman's got us got the controls. In fact, he's got clips for our holiday party last night. So you want to go online, and what's cool is Furman will put them up online and show you all the great pictures from our party last night. So we want to thank a lot of you for joining us, a lot of our real estate professionals, a lot of our friends. Rob, you were there.
I was there. It was a great time.
It was a good time, huh?
And we have to
it
thank
was fantastic.
We have to thank Newhall Escrow too, because it was a joint party. We had a great time.
Steve Korn,
amazing
one of our
partner.
co-hosts. You know Steve Korn. Newhall Escrow, 50 years of just doing a great job out here in the Santa Cruz Valley. Thank you, Stevie. And thank you for, he's probably going, I'm glad I'm not on the show today.
Yeah. I'm looking at the holiday
picks
picks right now, actually. They're right on donandgino.com. Watch, chat, and listen live. You can see the holiday picks.
Very cool.
There you are, running down the hallway with your Christmas vest.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't even take it off.
Is that good, huh? You slept on the couch.
Yes. You can check out Gino's goofy little Joker's Christmas hat. And Rob's got his cool Lakers Christmas hat on. All right, Rob. Again, we're here with Rob Schwartz, Director of Community Outreach for Eureka Review and Princeton Review. Both?
Well, they are our parent company, so yeah,
okay.
By all means, you can say one or the other. And I started with Princeton, so yeah, they're really both in my heart.
Okay. And an independent college counselor for Total College Planning. Basically the real deal. And I speak to Rob about this all the time. In fact, Rob, it's really cool. Just yesterday, when you were hanging out at the party, we were talking to one of the party goers, and was talking about what you do, and he's like, oh, I've been trying to get my son into this college. And you ask, well, what's his GPA? GPA is this. And you're like, trying? I'm confused. And if he would have reached out to you and asked for your assistant, pretty good chance you could have helped make that pathway a lot easier, huh?
That would have been a slam dunk.
Boom!
Wow.
He says that with his Lakers hat on. At least,
we
at least
usually
you can
don't
make a slam dunk.
We usually don't use that term in a mortgage office, just so you know. When you see an application come in and someone says, "Oh, this is a slam dunk deal," you're in for trouble.
Well, we always say if you're getting pre-approved in 24 hours, they're not doing their job.
No, if you're getting a quick response, you're pre-approved. Here's your letter. That's not a good promise.
Yeah, that'd be like going to a financial planner, going, "Where should I put all my money?" Oh, we'll just put it here. What?
All in one place.
You didn't ask anything about my goals. How long? It's like us. We actually ask you, how long you gonna be in the home? Are you planning on getting a bigger home? How big of a home? Where do you want to be? Yeah. All that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good stuff. All right, Rob. Let's talk about. We were talking about the SATs and ACTs and the importance of getting prepared for the spring test. And you can help them with that. How do you guys help them with that?
Well, when we talk about preparing for the SAT or ACT, in our last segment we had discussed getting in front of a practice test. That is the most important thing you can do as a student or as a parent to expose your student to what these tests really look and feel like. Take them in as realistic a setting as you can. Then have someone like me diagnose the results. What does it really mean? How do these scores compare to one another? Which test should you prepare for? Because frankly, there's not that much money in the world or that much time to prepare for both. Let's try to pick the one that makes the most amount of sense for your child, and then pick the test date that makes the most amount of sense based on their schedule, their level of education, the courses they're taking. To give you an example, let's say we're talking about a really advanced student, someone who's taking multiple advanced placement classes, which are essentially college-level courses at the high school. They don't have a lot of time, so their preparation is going to be really, I've got, a couple hours once a week to do this. Okay, great. Well, looking at the spring calendar, you've got an SAT in January, March, May, and June, and you have an ACT in February, April, and June. I tend to see a lot of kids have burnout. They have nothing left in the tank come June. So if we can avoid June, I try to. When we talk about the AP student, The SAT in May coincides with the AP examinations, which are pretty much a requirement for a student who's going to take those tests or those classes. So let's try not to pile on and take all of our exams at the same point in May. So let's skip that one. That leaves January, February, March, April. That's really the strongest window for a student who is at the top of the academic food chain. For someone who, let's say, is taking all traditional level classes, I think May is a dynamite time to take the SAT. Maybe June might make sense for that student for the ACT because they need a little bit more time to gather the knowledge that's used in the test. So each individual student is a little bit different. We want to make sure we're coming up with a sound plan that isn't panicked, it isn't rushed, and it's catered for an individual student. At Eureka, we would then provide one-on-one, in-home tutoring for that student based on their needs, based on their strengths and weaknesses, and based on their schedule. It's a terrific program, and it has yielded some remarkable results. A number of kids just in the Santa Clarita Valley, bonkers improvements, have done really, really well. I'm very, very proud of what we've accomplished here in Santa Clarita alone.
Great advice coming from Mr. Rob Schwartz, Director of Community Outreach for Eureka Review and an independent college counselor with Total College Planning, giving you steps and information about how your child or your grandchild, grandparents get so involved these days, and that's awesome. Sometimes they end up being better grandparents than they were parents. I know my parents love being grandparents better than dealing with me.
They spoil my kids.
I know,
That's what they're there for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they can borrow them and give them back.
That's true.
They couldn't do that with me. My
No.
parents are going, I'm stuck with this kid.
And I feel like my kids are great compared to what I was. I was a pain.
Yeah. Was?
Was?
I know.
Hey, I'd like to think that's a past tense situation.
Anyways,
my wife doesn't
moving
agree.
on, Rob. Let's talk about. So, and that's good advice. So, timing's a big deal then.
Absolutely.
And then I like that, like you said, trying to take all your time and effort to maybe try to go, oh, the SAT, we're not getting the scores we want, and then you got to start all over. I like it that you try to help them figure that out up front instead of wasting their time, energy, and money going one direction when maybe they should go the other.
I've had a number of students who ignored sound advice throw thousands of dollars at a problem that didn't need to have any attention at all. Two people, and clearly I'll leave their names out, they spent $2,000 each working with another organization preparing for the SAT. When before they had done that, I said, get in front of an ACT and find out if it's your strength, which I thought it was for both kids. Sure enough, they spent the money, they prepped, they took the SAT, didn't love the scores, and then I said, now why don't you try it my way? Why don't you take a practice ACT, doesn't cost you anything, just a few hours of your time. Their practice score with no prep was higher than their prepped SAT score.
Boom.
So you can hear that toilet flushing in the background. That's $2,000 going nowhere but the bottom of the drain.
Well, even worse is the effort. I mean, that's tough for their child. I mean, they'd be going out and really trying to put an effort into something that could have been so much easier, obviously, based on how they learn or how they take tests. Because some people take tests differently, too. I'm very gifted. I can actually go and study the night before, cram, and I retain at least for a short term, but I take tests very well.
Yeah, that long-term memory.
I almost passed my financial planning test without studying.
That long-term memory stuff, you're going to have to start taking ginkgo
Anyways,
for that.
I keep forgetting to take the ginkgo, though.
Yeah. But you know what, Rob? I mean, one of the things we're starting to talk about a little bit is cost. So, what is someone... I know that there's value in what you do and that they're ultimately going to save thousands of dollars, but what does it cost to have a professional college planner in your life?
Well, it depends on whom you want to bring in and when you start that process. I'll speak clearly just about my own practice. For a family that is looking for the whole enchilada, they want soup to nuts. I want you to help with college search, college selection, essay writing, extracurricular activities, keeping my son or daughter engaged in the process, realizing that every day matters towards this goal. If we're starting with a senior, it'd be $3,000, and for each year you go forward an additional $1,000, and that's broken up one payment per year.
Sounds worth it to me.
Yeah, not bad at all.
To give you an example of making that happen, well, I will wait and come back and give you a little tease when you come back from the Don and Gino radio show break and let you know how it's paid off for a number of other clients.
Okay, and we're also going to touch on those schools that still will accept admissions this time. I think you'll be surprised, so don't go away. The Don and Gino Real Estate Finance Show will be right back.